Today we will discuss about some of the historical milestones related to human rights. Basically, human rights are those freedoms which are guaranteed to a particular person just because he or she is a human. So, human rights are rights which are entitled to all human beings without the distinction of nation, language, religion, or any other status. Basically, human rights are based on the principle of respect for the individual, and they are universal in nature. When we focus to the most earlier records related to human rights, there is a particular point related to Cyrus. Cyrus was a great king of Persia who freed the slaves of Babylon in 539 BC. So he inscribed some of the human rights in Akkadian language on a particular cylinder. That cylinder is shown here in that image. The Cyrus cylinder, one of the ancient records related to human rights, is very widely recognized all over the world. So Cyrus, the first king of Persia, freed slaves of Babylon, and the decrees made by that king were inscribed on a cylinder, on a clay cylinder, that is known as Cyrus cylinder. So Cyrus cylinder is recognized as one of the ancient records related to human rights. Cyrus cylinder is translated into all 6 official languages of the United Nations, and its provisions parallel the first 4 articles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It is translated to all the official languages of United Nations, and its provisions parallel the first 4 articles of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So we will look into some of the precursors to the modern human rights. Some important documents which relates to human rights are Magna Carta, the Petition of Rights, the US Constitution, the French Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, and the US Bill of Rights. So these were the written precursors to the human rights which are prevailing today. So these are the earlier documents related to individual rights. First we will discuss the Magna Carta. The Magna Carta is one of the most important legal documents in the development of modern democracy. It was a crucial turning point in the struggle to establish freedom. In 1215, after King John of England violated a number of laws existed in that time period, his subjects forced him to sign the Magna Carta, which lists down some of the thoughts related to human rights. So the Magna Carta, or the Great Charter, was signed by the King of England in 1215, which turned out to be a very important document in the history of human rights. Another important milestone related to the development of human rights was the Petition of Right, produced in the year 1628 by the English Parliament and sent to Charles I as a statement of civil liberties. So these were related to some of the principles like no taxes may be levied without consent of Parliament, no subject may be imprisoned without cause shown, no soldiers may be quartered upon the citizenry, and martial law may not be used in time of peace. So this is one of the most important milestones related to human rights, produced in the year 1628. Another important document is the Constitution of the United States of America, which is the oldest written constitution in use. United States Congress approved the Declaration of Independence in the year 1776. The American Declaration of Independence was penned by Thomas Jefferson in the year 1776. Basically, the Declaration of the Independence of United States focused on two themes: individual rights and the right of revolution. These ideas became very widely accepted by the Americans and it influenced all over the world, like the French Revolution. Another important document is the Bill of Rights, which protects basic freedoms of US citizens. The Bill of Rights came into effect on December 15th, 1791, limiting the powers of the federal government of the US and protecting the rights of all citizens, residents and visitors in American territory. So the Bill of Rights protects freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, etc. In the year 1789, the people of France brought the abolishment of the monarchy and set the stage for the establishment of the first French Republic. The Declaration of Rights of Man and of Citizen was adopted by the National Constituent Assembly as the first step toward writing a constitution for the Republic of France. The declaration proclaims that all citizens are to be guaranteed the rights of liberty, property, security, and resistance to oppression. So we have discussed the precursors to modern human rights, the most important documents like the Magna Carta 1215, the Petition of Right 1628, US Constitution 1787, the French Declaration of Rights of Man and of Citizen 1789, and the US Bill of Rights 1791. Thank you.